And hello, all my fellow nerds out there. This is Oakland Richie, and welcome back once again to Rectifier in Bloom. Full version specifically. So last time we covered Greer's route, and today we're gonna be going over Lior's route. I want, and yes, I'm gonna be going back and forth between this and DDLC Blue Skies over this week. But there won't be too much rectifier since I'm probably gonna have to download the full version eventually if I have the time to. But we're gonna go over Leora's route because they're actually next because aside from them actually being one of my favorites in the game, um it's basically just the next one in line. So it's like Greer, Lior, than Stills. Hmm. More than the embodiment of lust, Lior is a silly, mischievous bard. He has a fondness for music, monsters, and mankind at large. If you put up with his day-to-day theatrics underneath the glitz and glamour, you might fight a man worth making a home with. Does you mean does you mean you might find a man worth making a home with? Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, yes. Lior's route: stolen moments. Also, I apologize if I sound out of breath today. I actually just got back from running an errand, and my God, it is hot out there. Anyways, absolutely not. I'm starting to worry that you people really are allergic to fun. It is a waste of time, resources, and involves unnecessary dangers. There is no point to it. Unnecessary dangers are the best part, big guy. Just let me show you. You try your best to swallow your laughter. Greer's waggling eyebrows across the campfire are not helping. I can handle any dangers, unnecessary or otherwise, by myself. Oh dear. What? You are certainly brave. Could it be then that you simply can't dance? Don't tell me my precious soldier has two left feet. The cup that goes flying towards Leor's hand at the cup that goes flying towards Leor's hand lands at his feet with a clatter. He seems wholly unfazed. Oh, how my poor heart is breaking. But still, what said intrigues you. Why on earth is he bringing up dancing? Lyra brains immediately spitting on his heels to finally address you, all of you. Why, yes. As you all know, we're barely at an hour's walk away from the delightful little city called Delphine. But what may have escaped your attention, my sweets, is that Delphine is famous for its celebrations. Infamous, even. I see. Is that all? I. Well, no. There was a wedding happening tonight. The Duke's only daughter finally got hitched to a gentleman with a very padded coin purse, I hear. A shame that a shame that people's purses are not the only thing he's been known for padding. Where on earth do you hear all these things? To celebrate this delightful union to the city is holding week-long festivities, and while we obviously can't stick around for the whole thing, all the scandalous parts will be happening tonight anyway. What exactly are you suggesting, Leo? And we go out and celebrate, of course. Things have been far too serious lately. We should let our hair down literally and figuratively. And I take it that Ren disagrees. Just likes making me miserable. Say what you will, but I think he's right. We have more important things to be doing than dancing. Oh, Frosty, you wound me. What could possibly be more important than fun? If it's that important to you, Lior, we can put it to a vote. You turn the idea over in your mind. There hasn't been much time for dancing, true. Still doesn't Ren make a good point, but it's dangerous at worst and dubious use of your time at best. But Lior really seems to have his heart set on it, and you haven't been to a human wedding in, well, have you ever? You're not even really sure what a wedding looks like. Nephilim don't get married. It could be fun to find out. All right, everyone, if you believe we should attend this wedding, yes, wedding, then please raise your hand. We'll go whatever the majority decides. Cliff's hand shoots into the air, but no one's other hands follow. Lyra scans the group one by one, making eye contact with anyone who dares look in his direction. Ren stares him down without shame, and Emil and Percy simply look away. Greer somehow is disappointed. His, his cup still half full at his seat by the fire. Lyra's eyebrows furrow, his lips quiver. You can't help but liken him to a kicked puppy. And then his sad little eyes land on you. Uh, you want to come dancing with me, don't you, Ray? He barely gives you time to think before he's at your side, his warm hands on your arms. I bet you're a wonderful dancing partner, darling. There's no shame in it if you want. I'm an excellent teacher. You're fairly aware of Ren scoffing to your left, muttering about Lyra's cheap tricks. But the warmth of his hands and the mirth of his smile are far more distracting. The silence drags on, expectant eyes upon you. You want? I mean, I kind of want to keep the peace. Um, to have fun. Leo's right. The rest of you are no fun. You stick your hand up in the air, waving your fingers at Ren stills. Be down in the knows how to have a good time column. Not that not the doesn't have a stick up their ass column. You can still have plenty of fun with something up your ass, Lior. Just name the time and place and I'll show you. Oh my god. Oh, is that a promise? Cross my heart. Careful, Angel. Too much talk like that, and I'll be ditching the party to keep you all to myself. And who said that wasn't my intention from the start, Bard? Oh, you are dangerous, aren't you? Maybe I am, but but I have a feeling you like that about me. Maybe I do. Are you quite done? With or without raised votes, the majority isn't in your favor, Lior. You don't say. The group is the group has decided then. We'll stay at camp. How thrilling. We could still have a drink here, couldn't we? An excellent point. There's nothing stopping us from celebrating here. We could even dance if you insist on it. No offense intended, Frosty, but I take my chances dancing with Ren before I dared partner up with you. I mean the group generally, Leor. I was not suggesting the two of us dance together. Thank the stars. I'll take what I can get, I suppose. He gives your arm a quick squeeze, flashing a slightly sulky smile your way. I appreciate you trying, Angel, but it's not your fault this camp is full of idiots who hate joy and fun and music. If you wanted to play some music, we wouldn't object, Lior. And reward you bones with my songs? I think not. Oh. Despite all his sulking, Lior does end up playing a few songs, into an audience like a moth to a flame. He even passes in a mellow dance of drink and companionship. Red still stubbornly refuses to dance, even when Lyra bursts into an improvised song about his alleged two-left feet. Glyph attempts to teach everyone a folk dance from his home, but most of the camp refuse to play along. Those who feel brave enough are quickly left in the dust by Glyph's fast-paced movements. Eventually, Greer returns with an unlocked bottle of wine from somewhere, and reluctantly pours everyone a glass. Though Stills insists Lyra only has a sip. Last time's incident has not been quickly forgotten. Some things you just can't unsee. You spend most of your evening observing. There's a unique kind of entertainment that comes from watching your campmates bicker and squabble, seeing friendships grow and distrust flourish. You make yourself comfortable at the edge of camp, getting yourself ready for the long evening of people watching. And it seems like you aren't the only one with that idea. Emil sits tucked away, far from the action, his head slightly bobbing to the music playing. Stills is nowhere to be found. You can only imagine he's already tucked himself into bed, whatever book he's currently reading. Greer seems to be drinking something. Definitely not the bottle of wine he shared with the others earlier, but you wouldn't put it past him to have kept a secret stash just for himself. Lawyer, for all his complaining, seems to be having fun of his own kind, leaning up against Ren in between songs and clattering about something or other. Ren might as well be having fun as well. But it also looks like steam is about to start billowing out of his ears. It's hard to tell with those two. A level of curiosity takes you and and you edge closer to try to catch an earful of the conversation. This plan is ridiculous. I have no further part in it. You break my heart, big guy. I can't leave you high and dry after all the help you've given me. I need no reward. I'm not a child. Your outing will be all the better without me there as a third wheel. And who said you'd be a third wheel? We'd make a delightful three-way, you, Ray, and I. Trio, Lior. It's called a trio. Oh, what did I say? You cough politely, and Ren goes rigid where he sits. Lyra simply smiles, tilting his head in your direction. Ah, speak of the angel. Are you having fun, darling? I. Yes, I suppose. Lyra stands, resting a hand on Ren's shoulder, giving a gentle squeeze. It's wholly ineffective. Every muscle of Ren's body seems to have tensed up, and what you watch the bard try to swallow his laughter as he switches to gently patting him instead. I'm glad. It's about time I played another song, I think. He flounces past you with a wink, lifting his hand to wave goodbye. Ren, darling, I'll bring you back a souvenir. Utterly lost, your gaze slowly lowers to Ren. He hasn't moved an inch since you made your presence known, and he still stubbornly refuses to look you in the eye. You don't think you'll get much out of him, but it could be worth a try. What was that? Please don't ask. Oh. Eventually, all things must, the evening draws to a close. You bid your farewells to the remaining few party goers. I get it. Still going around the fire and preparing yourself for bed. It feels good to tuck yourself in, letting your muscles relax and your mind wander. Today has already been an unusual ride. What will tomorrow bring? You look forward to finding out. Ooh, if you turn out to be a ridiculously heavy sleeper, this is going to ruin my whole plan, and I'll be quite upset about it. Uh, what? Ah, perfect. Good morning, Angel. Lior? Is something wrong? You try to sit up, rubbing your eyes from your from the rubbing the sleep from your eyes. You can't have been out for very long. It's still dark outside. Lior taps his index finger against his lips, which it does nothing to ease your growing nerves. Did somebody attack in the night? You didn't hear a commotion. Maybe the others were taken? Everyone else is sleeping. It's all right. Oh, well, that's good. Then why am I awake? I was really quite sad we'd have to miss the party, but fair is fair. The camp voted against a lot of us going. You blink slowly, trying to piece together the information in with your sleep-addled mind. You you have no idea where this is going. But nobody said anything about just the two of us going, did they? We're quite lucky, really. The city celebrations are known for lasting well into the morning. We'll be late, naturally, but fashionably so. You woke me up to sneak me out to a party? Yes? Your mind wanders back to the evening. All the secretive smiles and odd turns of a phrase that had left you wondering suddenly make a lot more sense. What are you planning this? Were you playing this all night? From the moment still suggested a vote. You don't know what it is, the absurdity, the childishness, the pettiness of it all, but you can't help a breathy laugh that escapes you. I should have known. Since when have you ever listened to Stills? He smothers his laughter with his hand, nodding, you've got him nailed. Really, I couldn't help myself. The moment someone tries to tell me what to do, I find myself doing the opposite. I'm guessing you have some kind of plan then? Of course I do. I spent the better part of the evening seething and scheming. I can't take all the credit, however. Oh? Ren offered his help to me after a modest amount of prodding and begging and blackmail. Of course he did. He's kindly offered to escort us to the city, more or less. He'll keep an eye out for a return as well. I did offer him to join us, but he refused, so it'll just be the two of us for tonight. Well, that's if you want to come, of course. You do want to come, don't you? You're not like the rest of these snores. Why not? I'm awake now. I might as well stay up a little longer. Lior's face flashes with a complicated mix of emotions. After an uncharacteristically awkward pause, he sighs. I should have told you earlier in the evening. It was inconsiderate of me to ask you now, after I've already woken you up. I'm sorry, Angel. I'm not displeased. It will still be fun to see you in your element. Lyra grins, equal parts relieved and thrilled. There's a wicked look in his eye, and that makes your eyebrow raise. And I can keep you out of trouble while we're there. Huh, I suppose that's only fair. I'll be on my best behavior, just for you. It doesn't take long to gather up the things that you need. Your sleepy limbs try to slow you down, but Lyra picks up the slack. You make an efficient team. As you quickly pack necessities into a small bag, Lyra kneels to slip your sandals on your feet, fastening the clasp snugly. It's only when he makes a silly comment about liking the view from down there that you realize it would have been smarter to swap the jobs around. He, he leads you out to the passenger tents, gasp, pausing with a small gasp when the gentle snoring inside stops to share a nervous grin with you. There is an undeniable thrill to sneaking out at night. You feel your heart beating wildly inside your chest. But the snoring resumes, and you sneak on past to where Ren waits by the forest edge. Acceptable work. Let's go. You aren't quite sure what Lior was expecting, bringing Ren along as a glorified bodyguard, but you're pretty sure it wasn't this. I won't be there to accompany you for the festivities, so I expect you both to be on your best behavior. It may be an open invitation, but it is still a wedding. I don't want to hear about any thefts, arrests, or someone running off with the bride. Ren glances pointedly at Lior. I mean it. I can make sure you get there and back safely, but don't count on me to bust you out of jail if you do something ridiculous. And it goes without saying that you shouldn't have any more to drink tonight. That neither me nor Ray will carry you home should you fall asleep drunk in public again. Drinking in camp was already a risk considering what you had planned, and I doubt its effects have completely worn off yet. And Ren, darling, yes. Typically, in my fantasies, one of you where one of you whisk me off into the woods in the dead of night, you do a lot less talking. You, I. Now that's more like it. Must you do this in front of Ray? True, my fantasies don't typically have you watching from the sidelines, Angel. Thank you. Usually you're joining in. He sighs deeply and Leo tries to wink your way for good measure. Now this is more along the lines of what you're expecting. Ren's ever-present exasperation, Leor tossing about flirty lines at anything that moves. You feel amused. Leor always seems to know the right things to say to get someone squirming, and Ren falls into his trap over and over again. It cracks you up. You don't say. We have some time before we make it to the city. You should tell me about these fantasies. Really get to the juicy bits. Lyra's eyes light up as Ren pinches his brow. They both know exactly where this is going. I mean, I think we both know who's going to be on top in this situation, but which one of us gets to be in the middle? Gets to be? I think you've already shown your hand there, Angel. Not that I can blame you. The heart wants what it wants, and I don't think Ren would mind, right, big guy? I'm not picky, personally. I'm going to leave you both here and tell Stills you were eaten by wolves. I'm not hearing a no. He hopes but stays quiet. You and Lyra while away the journey with a slightly graphic debate about ideal fantasy three-ways, and for all his complaining, Red never turns tail and leaves. Even when he throws a suggestion or two, eventually, which leaves his face burning and the two of you hooting with laughter. With time and the forest trees begin to sparse, the grass path beneath you turns to soil, and then to stone. The chime of music in the distance rings to your ears. Ren hovers at the precipice, giving you both a firm nod. This is as far as I'm going. Have fun, stay safe, be good. For a moment, you think Lyra is going to wave him off in their tease about always being good, but instead he smiles, takes Ren's arm, and squeezes gently. Thank you, darling. Get back safe. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Ren. Ren nods and turns to leave. Moments before he is out of earshot, Lyra shouts, "Oh, and don't wait up, big guy. Somebody has to show the bride a good time." The soldier whips but Lyra is already gone, beckoning you along with a wink. City itself is beautifully decorated. The further you get into the heart of the city, the more extravagant it becomes. Citizens of varying levels of sobriety flit around like little birds, but beyond the dainty finery, you can see the barmen and entertainers still hard at work. You wince at the thought of their aching backs and feet. Lara seems full of boundless energy. However, he loops an arm around you and he grins. There's actually more than I thought there would be. You sound excited. Of course I am. I had to wait ages for everyone to nod off. Well, I was a little worried we don't miss all the fun. Didn't you say we'd be fashionably late? And we are. What luck my guesswork paid off. You shake your head, taking a momentary lapse in conversation to scan your surroundings. There's a number of stalls still open, selling all kinds of baubles, drinks, and delicious things. Live performers hug every street corner, juggling, swallowing swords, and breathing fire. You won't run out of things to do, at least. Tucked between the competing stalls, you spot a woman applying what looks like paint to someone's face. Lara follows your gaze and snorts. Face painting. A time-honored tradition usually for children, though I suppose there's a market for drunk adults all the same. Within moments of the man being painted the man being painted spins around towards his friends, something large and phallic painted on the side of his face. The woman grimaces, her art tarnished. I I don't suppose she gets many creative requests at this time of night. We could change that if you wanted to. Ah, I wish, but if we stumbled home with a clown paint over our faces, I think the others might catch on to where we've been. Good point. That would be an embarrassing lecture. A shame though. I used to love getting my face painted when I was a kid. You did? Of course. I'd ask for all kinds of outlandish designs. Other kids wanted to be prettied up like a fairy or a princess. I wanted a little rest them to paint me scales like a dragon. I bet that stood out in the crowd. Oh, didn't it just? Not that I've ever minded standing out. I'd chase the other kids around pretending to breathe fire on them. Sometimes the kids would pick up their wooden swords and pretend to slay me. Would you still get the scales painted if we could? Probably. It's a classic. And I make a pretty good monster. How are you, Angel? He traces the slope of your face with his finger and grins. They could paint you some wings. A little on the nose, isn't it? It's half the fun. Not that it matters. You're pretty enough as you are. A sudden swelling of music gives you both a start. Turning away from the drunk jeering, you see a smattering of musicians on the street playing a wild, if slightly out of tune melody. Are they allowed to just start playing the street like that? I wouldn't imagine it's a typical thing, but it's a party, and by the sounds of things, they aren't professionals. Be nice. I did I didn't mean it like that. Music is a wonderful skill to learn regardless of one's level of talent at it. You're making it worse. What I meant is that the most of the hired musicians will be inside or set up on stages, entertaining the nobles, inner circles, and paid crowds. I imagine there's an organized set list, and a break room with little snacks, and an overcharged entry fee. But you can't keep music from the poor. That's a lesson they'll never learn. If you can't reach it, they'll just make it themselves. You sound you're speaking of experience. No, quite the opposite, in fact. I never played a part of a poor, starving artist. My family were extremely supportive when I insisted music was what I'd set my heart on. Reluctant, perhaps, but always supportive. It's just, music is a force of nature in my mind, as untamable as the sea or sky. Not that it will ever stop people from trying to tame it, or stop it, or put a price on it. but they won't succeed, and that makes me happy. Every badly tuned note and impromptu song is an act of love. What could be better than that? You're rather sentimental tonight, Lior. Gods, I know, and I haven't even had something to drink yet. Quick, distract me before I end up blubbering about the goodness of a song again. Distract you? What with? Laura extends a hand, nodding in the direction of the musicians. People have begun to gather around them, dancing alone or with one another. Care to dance? You put your hand you put your hand on his, and dancing is what he invited you out here to do. After all, he pulls you towards the other dancers, close enough not to stand out, but with enough space to feel comfortable. You give his hand a gentle squeeze for consideration. He lets you position yourself as you please, following your lead instead of distracting the pace or dictating the pace. You dance. Hmm. With style, with hesitation, with confidence. Uh, with style. You know what dancing is? A performance of movements typically as someone kind of personal expression. And from what you have observed, dancers usually encourage others to dance as if no one is watching. And that's exactly what you intend to do. Oh my! Lyra lets out a startled laugh as you throw your hands up in the air, letting your body move to the music however it deems fit. I'll admit, this wasn't quite what I was expecting. I'm dancing, aren't I? That you are? Aren't you going to join in? He hesitate. He doesn't hesitate after that, reaching out to take one of your hands and twirling you around. Lyra dances with wild abandon. It is a stompy, spinny mess of a dance, but the pair of you wearing matching grins, breathless from laughter. As the song ends, he clumsily pulls you close. Your bodies press together. You stumble and step on his foot, and he can't hold in his giggles, dropping his head against your shoulder. That was terrible. Indeed. Again? Naturally. After a few songs, the growing ache of your muscles and the need for fresh air and water is enough for you to have both of you wandering away from the impromptu dance floor. You set yourselves at the edge of the street corner, nursing flasks of dubious quality beverages and watching the celebration unfold. I wonder if the others have noticed we're gone. I, d- I doubt it. I imagine they're all sweetly tucked into their beds, blissfully unaware. You think so? No, just wonderful thinking. If just wishful thinking. Even if nobody notices our empty beds, I wouldn't put it past Ren to snitch. Betrayal from our closest confidant. He's a sweetie. It was nice of him to look out for us, but if Stills asks him where we are, he'll fold. I can feel it. I've never asked. What is your deal with him? Stills? Mm-hmm. You're always kind of, how should I put it, cold towards him. Admittedly, I doubt we will ever be the best of friends. I don't know if we'll ever really get along, even. Yes, but why? You get along with basically everyone you've met, Lior. You're sweet. It's hard to explain, honestly. Stills just embodies a number of things I. He goes quiet, his gaze elsewhere. Lior? Is everything okay? He lets out an abrupt startled laugh, pointing back to the dancers. Is it Greer? You try to follow his gaze past the dancers and musicians and to the street opposite, where a man with a mask tucking a very expensive looking bottle into his bag. What's he doing here? By the looks of it, stealing. Do you think he noticed us? Not yet. I shouldn't be surprised. But of course he snuck out here. Rude of him not to extend an invite to us, really. Greer looks up from the bottle of smuggling and catches sight of you two. His eyebrows shoot up to his hairline, even though the fabric of his mask. Even through the fabric of his mask, you can see his jaw drop. Lura snorts, lifting his arm and wave daintily. There is a moment of pause before Greer is stomping through the crowd of dancers towards you both. What are you doing here? I think we can ask you the same thing, sailor. I take it you're enjoying the festivities? It's fine. I thought you two went to sleep. I did for a bit, then Lyra snuck me out. I woke you up first. You make us sound like some midnight lurker. Of course you did. It's just the two of you, isn't it? I'm not going to turn around and realize the whole camp is here and everybody's changed their mind right after I left. Just as. Greer sighs with relief, shoulders sagging. Right. Good. I'll let you have your fun then. He turns to leave before hesitating, making a placating gesture with his hand. And of course, I never saw you two, and you never saw me, yeah? We won't snitch. We- Well, they won't. I make no promises. Queer's eyes narrow suspicious. I'll nick a pretty thing for you. Done. I've never seen before in my life. Pleasure doing business with you two. Or not. Don't know who you are. He vanishes back into the crowd with a wink. He is a fascinating little man, isn't he? That's one way to put it. You finish your drinks and return the flask to the rightful owners. Lior bumps his elbow against yours as you walk further into the city. When I still young, Angel, and after you were so kind enough to entertain my dancing whims, it's only fair you pick the next activity. Your mind wanders considering the possible choices. Unlike Lior, you didn't come to an event with a plan in mind. You scan your surroundings, eventually eyes land upon games, the food, the shows. Uh, None of the games. Only a few streets from where you're standing are rows of odd little games. Hooking ducks, hurling balls at pins. A number of them are now closed. You imagine their target audiences are fast asleep by now, but a few remain, their shelves laden with prizes. You make up your mind in an instant. You're going to play these silly games, and you're going to win. How do you feel about soft toy animals? Do you mean teddy bears? Perhaps. I'm terrified as to know where this may be going. You point towards the stands, and Leo laughs indulgently. Oh, you want to win me a prize? How sweet! You nod, confident. Your game of choice involves throwing a little bag of rice at stacked pins painted in a way that almost resembles clowns. Knock down all eight with the three bags to win a prize of your choice. Easy enough. Your first throw knocks down two. Your second knocks down two more. But as you gear up for your third throw, somewhere beside you, Lyra muses. Don't don't you think that pin in the middle looks like Percy? You burst out laughing, and your shot goes wide, hitting nothing but air. Lyra almost looks apologetic. Whoops. He slips a few coins onto the counter to pay for next attempt. This time, your shots strike true, toppling the clown almost Percy tower. Pick whatever prize you want. Lyra's eyes wander over to the plush prizes for a moment before he reaches for one tucked away in the far back. It's a horrible, lumpy thing you'd think is supposed to be some kind of rabbit. The ears are two different lengths, but it looks like the fluffy tail has been clean off. But he cuddles the thing to his chest and beams at you. I love it. Thank you, Angel. Of all the prizes, you want that one? Don't you think it's cute? One of the brown button eyes slips loose, hanging off its cloth face by a thread. No. Don't listen to them. You're perfectly cute as you are. Are you talking to the rabbit? I think I'm going to call it Ray. You cannot name it after me. And why not? You're both cute little things. It suits them. If you insist. We do. Lair also insists on carrying the ugly thing around, held snugly in the crook of his arm. You can feel the weight of his judgmental button he stared on you for the rest of the trip. You return to the throng of festivities, curiosity satisfied. Lyra scans the streets for his next activity. It doesn't take long. You're a little distracted, admiring the endless decorations and memorabilia. Tempted themed pla- themed plant plating, themed plating. It seems absurd, and yet they're for sale at seemingly every corner. But you still manage to hear Lyra's delighted gasp at your side. Found our next thing? They have a petting zoo, Angel. A petting zoo! Oh, we have to go see. Right, and what is that? You're going to love it, trust me. He slides past the sign, helpfully labeled petting zoo, a child's drawing of something pinned underneath. You squint at it. It looks like a pig? Or maybe a dog. Lyra's hands wrap around your arm, tugging you away from it. This is going to be the highlight of the night. I can feel it. You're not entirely sure what's got him so excited as he drags you past a stall after a stall of activity. But eventually you spot them. Temporary fences set up in a small plaza, the stone floor padded with hay, and filled with tiny, petable animals. Layer all but squeals. Aren't they cute? For the most part of the small zoo, it's filled with young farm animals, baby cows, little pigs, and particularly noisy goat. But there are some more unique options too. A miniature horse with ribbons tied in its mane, a handful of small, fat, furry animals Lyra informs you are called guinea pigs. He wastes little time in sliding the handler a couple of coins, grinning as he opens the fence and ushers you both in. We've got 30 minutes of uninterrupted petting, feeding, and playing with these delightful creatures. You can pick one to lavish your attention onto and visit them all equally. He glances down, where the brown specked goat has begun chewing on his skirts and sighs dreamily. I think I found my fellow choice already. He's trying to eat your clothes. I know, isn't he cute? You have odd tastes, Lior. I can't deny that. It's probably why I like you so much, Angel. He scoops up the goat in his arms, scratching behind his tiny, pointed ears. Goats are darling little things. My neighbors had a handful of them, always chewed through the fencing and ended up in our garden. I I adored them. Surely my biggest heartbreak was when I left was that I wouldn't be able to see the new kids in the spring. You think Stills would notice if I brought him back to camp with us? You raise an eyebrow, the goat chewing on the stray lock of his hair. Yes, I think he would. And make me return it. He never lets me have any fun. We couldn't bring a goat with us. It could be dangerous. Look at this fearsome creature. It could stand up to itself with a little training, surely. I think Ren might draw the line at training a baby goat. He's a stick in the mud too. It runs in their family. Aren't they related by marriage? Same thing. Snores attract snores. He turns his attention back to the goat, trying to wrestle his hair out of the creature's mouth. He isn't having much success. Your own attention is caught by the rest of the pen. There are a few others dotting on the animals, but it's pretty empty. It's a little late in the evening for these activities, and even the animals look a bit sleepy. What in particular draws your eye? Tiny horse, the baby cow. Honestly, for me, guinea pigs. Guinea pigs are adorable. My friend used to have guinea pigs as pets. You had not heard much about these things before, but they intrigued you, with their twitching noses and round eyes. You catch an eye of the handler, smiling as he steps over. What do these things do? She and Lior both giggle, even more so at your blank expression. Sorry to disappoint, but they don't really do anything. They can provide entertainment or companionship, and they make excellent pets. That is, but aside from that, they mostly do their own thing. They're pigs, yes? Only in name. They're actually kind of rodent, like mice. You're not appropriately informed. The little creatures make squeaking noises as they bump into each other. It strikes you as rather cute. Tentatively, you lower your hand to their cage, letting one of them wander up to your outstretched fingers to sniff them. Its little wet nose twitches against your hand. It tickles. You can hold one if you like. Really? She scoops one up and places them in your outstretched palms. Its claws are scratchy against your skin, but it sits happily in your grasp. Oh, Angel, your eyes are practically sparkling. His name is Moonstone. Her name is Moonstone. She's about a year old now. Moonstone. Your brows furrow in concentration as you hunch over to get a better look at the tiny creature. It stares at you with dark brown eyes, and then it squeaks. Moonstone, I love you. Live long and live well. Lyra laughs heartily beside you. The handler delights you both with the stories of the pet's escapades as you take your time enjoying the company of animals. She even brings out a handful of feed to split between you both, letting them nibble at their treats out of your palms. It's a shame when you two have to leave. Your time's slot up. The animals more than ready for their bedtimes. You stare fondly at the pens. Maybe Stills wouldn't notice if we took a small one. I knew you'd come around to my plan eventually. You fall into the easy, you fall into the easy debate about which one you should take home and how you'd split caring for them as you wash your hands. You take turns picking activities after that, seeing as many of the city's sights as you can cram into your nightly escapade. There's fine drinks to sample, musicians to marvel at, snacks to nibble at, and smattering of dancers all around. It really is a shame the others didn't want to come. It's their loss, unfortunately. You can't force someone to have fun. Though I have tried. Honestly, I wish we could stay longer. It'll be fun to see what they had planned for the next few days. In my experience, the first night is always the best. By day, three most people are too dead on their feet to be much fun. I don't disagree, though. This has been one of the best nights I had in a long time. But there will be other parties, other events, other weddings. Once I even played music at a celebration being held for a noble lady's recent divorce. I take it she was pleased to be rid of him. Oh, she was thrilled, but as I recall, she drank 2 bottles of wine and then kissed her lady in waiting. What I mean to say is that people will always find reasons to celebrate. This night has been fun, but it doesn't have to be the last. Next time you hear about some open invitation festivities, you'll bring me along, right? Of course, we're partners in partying now, you and I. Even even if it wasn't an invite only affair, I'd find a way to smuggle you inside. Already assuming you're on the guest list, huh? Of course, I'd be on the guest list. I'm me. That you sputtered out of laughter, turning away to discreetly roll your eyes. He's been this way for as long as you've known him. That cocksure confidence, the glibness, the tinge of humor in every word. At times it's funny that others frustrating, but tonight at least you're glad for his company. The night air is warm and welcoming. The only one que- only one question lingers: what next? You turn to Lior to ask. It's his turn to pick the activity now, even though you could put your money on asking him for another turn on the dance floor. But he isn't there. You check around to make sure he didn't wander off somewhere, but he's not in any of the market stalls. Maybe someone asked him to dance? You wander back to the groups of dancers, but there's no sign of his flashy clothes. Blair isn't exactly easy to lose in a crowd, but now he's nowhere to be found. You're alone. The night doesn't seem quite as welcoming anymore. The once bustling crowd now seems dangerous and imposing. You don't know this city. How the stars are you going to get home? You feel honestly, I'd probably feel a little bit overwhelmed. You have there always been this many people around? This many strangers? The city streets seem endless. What would you even be able to find your way out? Would any of these strangers help you? Your body feels hot and cold all at once, sweaty, your heart starts to pound. Everything is too bright, too loud. This is honestly reminding me of a certain protagonist. You're alone, and you don't know where you are. You shut your eyes. You take a moment to try and steel yourself, calm your breathing, and sort through your thoughts. Anything to make the situation a little clearer. Figure out what you're going to do. But you're in the middle of a festival still. The fact that makes itself frustratingly clear. People knock into you, everyone's chatter and laughter is too loud, interrupting your pacing thoughts. Then all of a sudden you feel warm, soft hands wrap over yours. You hadn't even realized your fists were clenched. Your eyes fly open. Let's take a walk, Angel. He steers you out of the busy streets without another word. You want to prod him for answers right there in the middle of the open road, but you can't quite find your voice. Together, you walk out of the heart of the city. Gradually, the thick crowds become solo stragglers, the surrounding music a distant melody. Blair doesn't let go of your hand, ironic considering his prior disappearing act. Eventually, he tugs you into an empty road on the outskirts. You strain your ears, but you can only hear the faintest hum of a faraway chatter. You open your mouth to speak, but Lyra gets there first. Are you all right? You left me alone in a city I don't know. In a city I don't know. I did. That was a silly question. I'm sorry. Why? I thought you were having a nice time. We were. I mean, I was. I am even. Though I know you can't exactly say the same now. But then why just run off? Where'd you even go? I saw something. I thought you would like. Why not just tell me? I wanted it to be a surprise. Thank you for coming with me all this way with me. I figured it would only take a few seconds. You wouldn't even notice I was gone. I was wrong. It took a little longer to procure than I thought. He laughs, embarrassed, gently plucks something out of his jacket. I hope you still like it. I didn't mean to sour our evening. Ah! With a flourish, Lyra presents you a perfect pink peony. You see, as we were talking, I spotted the very bride of this festival for ta- this festival is for talking to the city folk, doing the rounds, so to speak. And she had this gorgeous, huge bouquet with her, marvelous flowers that the woman has taste. I made up my mind before I had time to think it through. I simply had to bring you one of those flowers. You deserve a whole blasted bouquet, of course, but I didn't fancy my chances with that. You stole one of the bride's flowers from me? Stole is such a strong word. No, no. I simply struck up a conversation with her. Told her I'd come to this beautiful celebration to love with an utter sweetheart, that I was just desperate to show them how much I cared for them. But I had spent all my money to bring them here, and now I was simply penniless. And how could I possibly face my sweetheart with such an event empty-handed? She positively swooned over the story, almost tripped over herself to offer me a flower out of her bouquet. You conned the bribe? The bride? It's barely a con. I'm here with an utter sweetheart whom I value deeply. No word a lie. You're a fool. A wicked one, no less, tricking the bride with my pretty words just to impress you with a flower. I feel like a schoolboy again. You, you trick brides often, do ya? No, this trick was just for you. You reach out to take the flower from his hands, and Leor beams from ear to ear. What do you say? Oh, wait, what? Oh, I forgot scrolling was on. uh, it'll do. As apologies go, this isn't your best work, but it'll do. I forgive you. I'm sure I can find another way to make it up to you, Angel. The implications that are so overtly raunchy, you can't help but roll your eyes. No need. You wouldn't be yourself without your odd little theatrics. Odd? You wound me. I believe I am odd too, for being so fond of it. Well, I guess that makes us two peas in an odd little pod. There are worse places to be. He sighs fondly, turning his face towards the sky. The stars twinkle gleefully. You are many things, Angel. An excellent dancing partner, a pretty face, a witty conversationalist. But most importantly, you are unabashedly yourself. I will treasure the days we spent together always. Hopefully there will be many more of them to come. I could toast to that. But it's getting late. If we stay much later, that we'll end up back in camp after sunrise. Time to go already? We can't put tomorrow off forever. Stars know I've tried. Though I'm sure there's plenty of mischief we could find ourselves in on the way home. I think we'll be more likely to find trouble back in camp than on the road. Do you have a plan to sneak back in? Not in the slightest. The walk back to camp is full of quiet revelry. As much as leaving the celebration behind is bittersweet, neither of you can deny the sleepiness dragging your heels. It's been a long, eventful night. Lyra fills the silence with potential songs about the escapades tonight, testing out lyrics and then weaseling you for an opinion. What about the sweet angel's dance that had the crowd in a trance, for their dainty white skirt had blown skywards? Stop writing lyrics about my arse. But the walk admittedly peaceful. You find yourself looking forward to your bedroll more and more with every step. And though he doesn't admit it, there's a telling slump in Lyra's shoulders that tells you he feels the same. You even spot him trying to stifle a yawn, Scandalous. Camp is a welcome sight. Lair insists on walking you back to your tent, even though his own bed isn't more than a few feet away. Well, I guess this is it. Our night of revelry has come to an end. Did you walk me back to my tent for an excuse to stretch the night out a little long? Can you blame me? Maybe. No, it's been a good night. That it has. Lair rests his hand upon your arm and gives you a gentle squeeze. His eyes are warm and inviting. A gentle, unknown feeling washes over you. The feeling of something that is about to happen lingers in the air unspoken, until a loud abrupt cough cuts through the atmosphere like a hot knife. What sort of what sort of time do you call this? The pair of you whip around, and there still stands, squinting at you from a flap of his tent. Shit. You're inclined to agree. Good evening? It's the middle of the night. Where have you two been? Our tents? Try again. Lara glances at you pleadingly. You can fix this, but how? Divert, lie, confuse. Uh, tell the tr- tell the truth. Divert, lie, confuse. Um, I forgot which one I picked last time. Yeah, divert, lie, and confuse. Middle. It not that it is particularly your place to ask, but I was having trouble sleeping. Is is unknown process to me trying to sleep in your realm. I often struggle with both the active and the dreams that may follow. It seems I am prone to these nightmares, as you call them. My dreams are at times lucid, but the feelings of stress in them remain. Tonight I found myself unable to get adequate rest, so I sought help. Lior was kind enough to lend me his time and company. Even his raunchy jokes of trying to tire me out with his body helped me put me at ease. Still, his eyes all soft at the edges, his smile becomes sad. You know I am intimately familiar with dreams, yes? I could easily suit them for you. All you have to do is ask. I didn't want to wake you, but perhaps I'll take you up on it in the future. For the time being, however, Lyra was satisfactory company. A glowing review. You're welcome. Next time I expect more lullabies. Want me to tuck you in too? Give you a kiss on the forehead? That would be an acceptable addition to your subpar bedtime behaviors. Subpar? I believe you've gone off topic. Right, thank you for your concern, Stills. Apologies for waking you. No need. I hope you managed to get some rest. Sleep well, both of you. Stills steps back into his tent, thoroughly convinced. Lara gives you a wide-eyed glance before laughing in disbelief. That worked like a charm, Angel. I can't believe you tricked him so easily. Stills is a reasonable man. I'm simply appeal to his better judgment. He isn't the type to admonish someone for seeking help. When you put it like that, I almost feel bad for tricking him. Almost. My desire to not get told off far outweighs it, of course. Though really, subpar? I could do far better than that. It was more believable that way. Stills would have caught on if I started singing your praises. Still, a little bit goes a long way, Angel. You could have said it was good enough for perfectly adequate, and he would have believed you just fine. You call me subpar on purpose. If you want me to reevaluate, then you'll just have to prove me wrong. Uh-huh. If you want me to tuck you in and sing you lullabies, all you have to do is ask. Minus 2 points for the nosiness. Hey, nosiness! You didn't tell me you were already scoring. The gentle laughter peters off into a warm silence of the evening. You take a moment to enjoy the little things. Leora's gentle breathing, the rustling of leaves in the warm breeze, a distant snore from a scattering of tents. That sense of something anticipation, perhaps, fills you once again in the restored calmness of the night. Your bed beckons, but you linger to your tent's entrance for a moment more. Lyra smiles, taking full advantage of your momentarily hesitance to beckon you down towards him. You turn your head, half expecting him to whisper another silly joke or inconvenient scheme. It wouldn't be unlike him to try and drag the evening out a little longer. Aww, that's so cute. Instead, he slides his hand across your cheek, thumb tracing the shape of your cheekbones. He tilts his head further still, angling your face to his liking, like a painter positioning his muse. Once he's satisfied, seemingly, he draws his hand away, smiling at you with such intensity it half shuts his twinkling eyes. We had a peculiar way of saying goodbye in my home. I was shocked to find that they didn't do it elsewhere. When I began traveling, more than shocked in truth, appalled. The brutish handshake just can't compare to. And don't get me started on the elegant high five. Ugh. He rolls his eyes exaggerately, his head tipping to the side with sheer force of it. You're close enough that you can see whips of his hair gently shifting out of place. Our way is much more intimate, delicate. He tip he tips his head forward until your foreheads are touching, where he lets his eyes slide shut with a happy hum. Our heads are the most important part of us, after all. Heads, then hands. You feel his slender hand slip into your fingers intertwining. Into yours, fingers intertwining. He squeezes them idly. Then last, but most importantly, at, at least, not least, the heart. Lara pulls, you joint, pulls your joined hands upwards, placing your palms against his chest. You feel the steady thrum of his beat beneath this thin fabric. And an odd assortment of body parts to place such reverence on, I'm sure you're thinking. I'm not doing much thinking at all right now. Head empty. He lets out a twinkling laugh, his eyes flitting open. You can feel his heart speeding up beneath your palms. It makes you feel something unnameable. Our hearts are where the world's most important substance is stored. Love? That would be second most, according to many, though I may just agree with you on that one, Angel. But no, blood, that which powers life, and many a magical spell. Without blood, there would be no love, no sex certainly, no menstruation, no erections. What a terrible time we'd all be having. Well, I certainly could survive without menstruation, but you know what I mean. I thought blood enhanced magic was forbidden. In most places, sure, we're something of sort of social exception. He slides your hand off his chest and turns him over, running his hands along one of the creases of your palms. The hands are how we interact with the world, and the only tool painters, musicians, soldiers, and more share. You can tell by you can tell a lot about a person by their hands. You know, lute players have calloused fingers. That but laborers are calloused all over. What about mine? Angel, your hands haven't seen an honest day's work in your life, but they're cute, soft. Oh! Lara chuckles, letting your arm fall back to its side, limp. He taps your cheek, your faces still so close together. You've been a little distracted by his talking. The reminder of your proximity makes your face warm. Of course, the head is what makes us who we are. It has all the special bits and the eyes, the ears. His gaze trails downwards as he grins. The lips, of course, necessity for bards. But more importantly, so we keep our memories, our dreams, our hopes. Some at home think our heads are where we keep our soul. Not the heart? The heart is much too busy for that. All the blood pumping and love making business keeps it occupied. The the head is the best place for it. I the only place for it to see, hear, smell, even taste the world it inhabits. That's why people love to kiss. You know, it's the closest you can be to another being's soul. Really? I can't say for certain. I'm no expert, but it is a romantic idea, isn't it? When we say goodbye to those we deeply cherish, we rest our heads together. There's an appeal of the closeness, of course, but it's more than that. We're putting our souls together. For everything that in my being, my very soul will miss yours. Ah. He pulls away, leaving you more than a little dazed and shrugs his shoulders. A little dramatic for a good night, but what can I say? It's my nature. I don't really know if you have a soul, I suppose, but the sentiment remains. I'll miss being in your I'll, and I'll miss your big empty head. Doesn't hold quite the same power. I'll miss you too, Lior. You'd only intend to kind of return the sentiment. It's something of a shock when his face twists into a scowl. For a split second, you feel a twinge of nervousness. Was it something you said? None of that, none of that, please, Angel. My heart can only take so much from you, and after tonight, it's practically overflowing. Your shoulders droop in relief. Just the usual antics then. You're pleased to see the familiar smile twisting its way across his face. Really, Angel, we're going to bed for the night. There's no need to miss me. Is the distance oh so unbearable? We shall be in each other see each other in the morning, surely. Hmm. But you started it. Me? Acting melodramatic about about a brief parting? Darling, that doesn't sound like me at all. He laughs brightly, placing a hand delicately on your arm. I'm only teasing. Thank you, darling. It means a lot to have the sentiment returned. He, he clears his throat, turning his gaze upwards to the sky, a little lost in thought. We haven't done that in a while. Years, really. I suppose I got used to the casual goodbye that everyone else prefers. I haven't had anyone my soul felt like biting farewell to either. Woe is me. I guess I could bid goodnight to the rest of the fellows in camp, but I doubt Percy would let me anywhere near his precious perfect angel's only soul. And Ren's likely to gore me with the delicious horns in a fit of panic. Cliff, maybe, but I don't know what Anatarians believe. I wouldn't wish to cause offense. Seems like you're the best fit, Angel. Lucky me. Even if my head is empty, I probably would. I probably have enough soul for the two of us. Though, admittedly, It's not as fun if you're not getting anything out of it. I like hearing about human customs. Well, we are a fascinating species. So many intricacies, rules, silly norms. It can be overwhelming at times, but I'm glad you insist. Overwhelming? Of course, I was thrown for quite a loop when I left the comfort of home to when I left the comfort of home to travel. Actions that are perfectly respectful and spurious might get you stabbed in Jack Lear red. Honestly, don't even get me started on the mess of the Jack Lear sisters, neighbors, warring exes. We're a complicated bunch as humans, but I have found us worth learning about. The utter delight when you nail the pronunciation of a new friend's name or mention the dish they miss, reminisce about a shared experience. It's the best part of us, I think. I hope you get to experience it many, many times, dear angel. I hope so too. Thank you for sharing this with me, Lior. He laughs easily, waving his hand like he can wave away your gratitude too. Please, the pleasure is all mine. With any luck, there'll be more chances. Really should let you go. It's late, and I at least need my beauty sleep. This devilishly handsome look isn't effortless, you know. It was a good night. Oh, that it was. Well, worth the little loss of sleep. But I don't suppose there's any hope in Ren still has given us an extra half hour to lay in. I wouldn't count on it. Lara leaves a dramatic sigh, body slumping forward like a wilted flower. My poor slumber. We live with brutes, savages, and snores. A particularly loud snore cuts through the air and chuckles, gesturing to the dark tents. My point is proven. Right, no more distractions. You need to rest, as do I. Good night, Angel. Thank you for this wonderful night. I hope your sleep is sweet and restful. No soul sent off this time? He cocks his hip and winks. Unlike my body, darling, my soul can only take so much loving. He giggles as the look on your face, waggling his finger in a dainty wave. I'm off. See you in the morning. Good night, Lior. He wanders off to his own tent. You can see the tired slump of his body again now. When he reaches his own tent, he glances back, grins when he catches you watching him, and blows a kiss. Then he gestures wildly, but you might be acting out catching it and pressing it to your face. There's nothing really there to catch, but you reach out and close your fist in the air all the same. The grin on his face is worth a mild embarrassment. You tuck the kiss into your pocket for later. He disappears into his tent proper then, and it's high time you do the same. When you tuck yourself into bed that night, your body feels light despite the ache in your feet. The peony sits safely in one of your clay drinking cups, a stem submerged in the water. Your last thoughts as you drift off into sleep are filled with flowers, the distant chime of music. Aw, that's a good way to end it. That's actually really good. I liked it. Honestly, Lior has to be one of my favorites of the bunch. Second to Emil, sure, but he's still one of my favorites. But yeah, that's gonna do it for Lior's route and this video entirely. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.
You say you wanna try, but you never